Okay, so I'm about to open a brand new Fazioli F212, which is just arrived from Italy. The pianos here behind me, they come with these exquisitely quilted covers, which in itself is a bit of a work of art. And inside the piano there are various rails and ribbons and a beautiful hand-built wooden box, and all of this will get taken apart so that the mechanism actually functions, and then we'll be able to hear this beautiful piano. Okay, so these pianos are very well secured for shipping. It's come all the way from Italy in also a beautifully made large wooden crate, and there's various ways to make sure that nothing moves in transit and gets damaged. And of course, buying a new piano is not something you do every day, so opening up a new piano is a very special experience. So I'm going to start with the music desk. It's always nice when manufacturers take the care to do beautiful ribbons with a nice bow in them. So this is the music desk with its protective covering coming out completely. That'll get opened up later. Okay, and then there's various protective parts covering the lock plate. I've unpacked a lot of new pianos in my life. I'm very fortunate. I must say the Faziolis are amongst the best packed. Okay, now under the lid we have the prop stick that holds the lid, and you have to untie the bow at the same time as holding the lid up, and then get that in place. All these little things that make sure this doesn't bump on the steel frame. And then this is really nice. The box that has the sales material and the cleaning cloth and the key in it. It's tied in a very solid fashion. Struggling a bit with that. I thought I might have to resort to a knife, but getting there. Obviously, when the piano is crossing continents, you don't want things rattling around inside it. It'd be very unfortunate. So, okay, so in here, it's an absolutely exquisite handmade wooden box. So it's like those presents you get, you know, where there's a present inside a present and then another present inside that present. Well, so this is the box inside a cover inside a piano. So that's the beautiful Fazioli box. And it's about this point that one should start feeling like you want to buy one of these pianos just to get the box. Okay, so now that's the inside parts dealt with. But when the piano is shipped, the mechanism is also secured. So when a new piano arrives, you cannot play it because the whole action needs to be prevented from moving. So I need to get access to the packing block, which is secured in the keyboard to stop this moving from side to side or forwards and backwards. Interestingly, with Fazioli, they have these very carefully made leather contact points on all of their parts, these are the only pianos I've seen with this. It means that you don't get the little scratches that you tend to get with other instruments when you take them apart. So the mechanism has a wooden block between the keyboard and the cheek block, and that prevents it moving backwards. So now the left pedal, the unicorder, is now able to move. There's something particularly special about the first touch on a new piano. It's a kind of quite a responsibility, really. Okay, so now I'm just checking if there's any other securing parts on the mechanism. And whether it's a brand new Fazioli or not, this is always just a fascinating thing to see and realize that the entire mechanism on a grand piano slides in and out of the instrument almost like the engine. It's a separate part of the piano. Now the hammers are tied down by these rails with plastic ties that I'm now going to need to cut off so that I can free the hammers. So I just need to get something to do that. Okay, so now I've got some side cutters. Generally this is not a tool that you use in close proximity to a new Fazioli mechanism, but it's needed for this bit. The hammers and the assembly they're on is very, very delicate, so if anything happened to this in transit, that would be a very significant problem. So they do ensure it's very secure. Also, the piano goes on its side for most of the traveling time, with the legs off and the pedals off, so this whole mechanism is actually sitting upwards for its journey. Okay, so with Fazioli everything is beautifully done. So these are just the packing rails for the hammers, but they're very nicely made. And really, you don't get any newer than this. That's another nice packing rail. I grab all these pieces of wood and then I keep them for purposes that I never know what it's going to be, but I can't bear to get rid of them. Okay, so that's the mechanism free from its rails, and a very lovely piece of work it is. Goes back into the cavity of the piano. Fazioli even make two recessed sections here under the key bed so that the technician can slide the mechanism in easily and safely. Okay, so it's now bedded in its position, and the next step would be to put back the fall and the cheek blocks and so on. The piano is likely quite out of tune at the moment. Actually, it's not too bad at all. It's ready for delivery. No, I'm just joking. That's just the first sound of this particular Fazioli, and I'm going to leave that tantalizing point. If one gets addicted to opening new pianos, it can be quite an expensive hobby. But a nice hobby nevertheless.